When I began the credentialing program at EPU, I originally enrolled in the Master's in Education teaching program. It wasn't until I discussed with other classmates about their experience that I realized that the digital teaching and learning emphasis was more fitting for me. I was excited to start something new and finally be back on path to doing what I always wanted to do: teach. I chose to attend APU because I wanted to get a Christian perspective of the teacher education program, because of the intimate class sizes, and because I could complete both my credential and master's degree. I have always been comfortable with technology and don't fear jumping in and figuring out a new device or program. However, devoting time to learning how to apply software to create materials that are usable in the classroom has been extremely valuable. I would not have learned how to do all that I did in the digital teaching and learning program on my own. I enjoyed learning how to make a website and how to use Audacity to mix music and vocals in EDUC 515. In EDUC 514, I learned how to make videos that are interesting and informative. In addition to learning how to create videos, it was most useful to learn how to acquire instantly usable video from a variety of sources. I would have never learned the value of Adobe Acrobat had I not taken EDUC 512 to make forms and to create PDFs of websites. Lastly, I love that EDUC 522 connects everything that has been learned in previous classes by making us incorporate technology into a unit of study while taking into consideration different learning modalities. My vision as an educator has expanded to include the regular use of technology in instruction. Since starting the program at APU, I took on the responsibility of starting and heading a youth group at my church. Being responsible for a group of kids in a youth group environment has given me the opportunity to practice instructional strategies that I learned in the program. Overall, I've had a wonderful experience at Azusa Pacific University. First and foremost, I've loved learning in a Christian environment that encourages its candidates to reflect upon their journey and how it relates to their education and faith. In addition to the curriculum, the instructors are so warm, supportive, and understanding. The communication with professors has also been incredible throughout the credentialing and master's program. My action research study involves tracking calories for 5 weeks during the holiday season in an effort to avoid gaining weight. Every year I gain an average of 5 pounds from Thanksgiving until New Year's, and I'm setting out to change that. I'm setting out to count calories for the first time in my life using MyFitnessPal on my smartphone to keep track of my daily calorie consumption. I want to know that if by counting calories I can become more aware of what I'm eating, make better choices, and find motivation to exercise, all with the goal of maintaining my weight. My plan of action is to record everything that I eat for 5 days of the week for 5 weeks, beginning the week after Thanksgiving and ending the week before New Year's. Weekends and holidays were considered free days when I could eat without tracking calories. My starting calorie allowance was 1,390 calories per day. My attempt was to balance the possible overconsumption on weekends and holidays by eating for weight loss during the week. I found myself eating almost half that at breakfast alone. After 1 week, I found that I lost a total of 3 pounds, which makes me think that I needed to adjust my calorie intake to be higher during the week. So I decided to adjust my calorie intake simply for maintaining weight to 1,630 calories because my original starting point was too limiting and I even felt dizzy during the first week. The weight progress chart shows that I started and ended at 119 pounds. Therefore, I conclude that by counting calories, I was able to successfully maintain my weight during the holiday season. December 27th, I consumed the most amount of calories while dining out at the Cheesecake Factory. Overall, the results were exactly what I was hoping for. Had I not started by strictly limiting my calories, I might not have been able to maintain my weight. The weight loss in the first week did indeed offset the weight gain and was vital for achieving the desired results. Looking up foods before eating definitely impacts the ability to make better food choices and results in lower calorie consumption. I welcomed the opportunity of participating in the action research process because it was new to me and I knew that I could use what I learned in the long term in a classroom setting. While I enjoyed what I did, I can admit that counting calories is just not something that I could do regularly. Collecting data with the plan to analyze the results at the end of the process was a good motivation to keep going with the selected method. I am pleased with the results and will use this method again as needed, but I will not be counting calories daily. I love the mobile phone application that I use because it simplified the process since I could look up food and scan barcodes to enter new food. I learned that with commitment and dedication, it is possible to make a quick change for the positive. My unit of study is about the Industrial Revolution. Starting at its origin in Britain, looking at the global impact that it had on 19th century life and the lasting impact that it has had on the world in politics, economics, culture, and society. Students will understand the social, economic, and scientific changes that took place during this period. Students will be aware of how globalization has transformed the world. Students will make a connection with history and how it has affected the world that they live in today. Students will be able to identify both positive and negative effects of modernization. They will understand how urbanization and the transformation of jobs changed the way that people live. Students will read, see, and listen to how art was influenced by the Industrial Revolution. I chose to create a unit about the Industrial Revolution because it is a pivotal time in history. I will begin the unit of study by introducing students to key events, VIPs, and key vocabulary words. Students will have a variety of opportunities to work in pairs while they conduct research, participate in a role-play activity, and even while we play Jeopardy as a class to review concepts and assess their understanding. A fun and simple assessment tool that I'm going to use for the unit is a game called Who Wants to Be a Cotton Millionaire, where students will navigate through the game, and in the end it acts as an assessment. Each student will keep a web blog where they will write reflections and post quick writes. During lectures, students will view images and videos embedded into PowerPoint presentations. Students will take a visual tour of a U.S. steel plant, watch a video about child labor, and be able to participate in a role-play activity where they will gain greater understanding of working conditions in the industrial age. We will listen to music, read poems, and view art from the Romanticism movement. For the concluding project, students will have the opportunity to choose a standard that they want to focus their attention on. They will then pick one of the following assessment types. Create an Industrial Revolution newspaper that includes one political cartoon, one article on factory life, one article on an inventor of the time, one advertisement for an invention of the time. Another option is to create a video on life during the Industrial Revolution. Focus on one aspect of industrial life in a 3 to 5 minute video. They can act in it themselves and use video clips and blend it all together. A third and final option is for students to write an Industrial Revolution poem, put that poem to music using Audacity, and create a song. By teaching to a variety of learning modalities, I hope that students will have an opportunity to gain a deeper understanding about the Industrial Revolution, why it began, where it began, why it spread, and why we live the way that we do today. I've had an amazing journey thus far, and I'm looking forward to starting my journey as a teacher as I complete my master's program this session. Next semester I head into my student teaching. I've enjoyed the courses and everything that I've learned along the way. I'm praying for a lifelong career as a teacher, where I can continue to grow as a person and as an educator. Farewell, and thank you to everyone I've met along the way.